The following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say viewer discretion is advised.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Shout out to all the MGM members. Great Polo. I see J. Cole. Shout out to Costas. Moving Company Hustle. Shout out to you, Roger Lacey, Manny the Driver. Who else we got in here? Roger Lacey. I got who? Shout out to Jonathan. Shout out to all the moderators. Sharks World, Goat Logistics, what's going on? Shout out to Pippi. Who else we got? Shout out to Asma Rowland. How's everybody doing? Transportation Boys. Come on in. Good afternoon. Man, time is flying. I've been up since 6. I wanted to do this live streaming about between 9 and 10, but man, I've just been sitting here going through emails and just taking care of business and things of that nature and let time slip away from me. But we here now. Come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Today we are going to be talking about starting a box truck business from the ground up. Now, what I mean by the ground up is basically starting with what you have, right? Starting with what you have. I released a clip from a live stream this morning. That clip that came out this morning, it's a little over an hour, where I was kind of mentoring this young man online. That happened early this year, so maybe about half a year ago, maybe about 6 months ago. And it inspired the live stream for today, right? I like these little morning, early afternoon cook-up sessions. I like these better than streaming at night. I'm gonna probably continue. I might turn this into a show. I might turn this into like a everyday type of thing, like a Monday, like a morning cook up or something like that. I might do this Monday through Friday. It might be my new thing. But anyway, that inspired this show. So I said, all right, let's have a talk about starting from the ground up. I like to call it starting from humble beginnings because, a lot of people get misled with all these schemes and all this rhetoric that is spewed throughout the internet on this business credit and this, that, and the third. And that's great. But I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. That may not be great for everybody. It may not be accessible for everybody. If you can come in with this business credit and all this, that, and the third, if you don't know how to utilize it properly, we've seen people fail because now they get infused with this capital or this credit, and then they misappropriate the funds and they don't allocate the money to the things that they're supposed to allocate it to, which is the business. And then, we have people coming up on the call-in show, and then I have to hold them accountable. I feel like you should start with what you have. All right. That's how I started. And I didn't even start with the understanding that I was going to eventually grow it into multiple businesses. I didn't. It was just, a back against the wall situation. And the grace of God, I just started with what I had, and it grew and it blossomed into something beautiful. All right, so let's talk about starting with what you have and why that's better, and why majority of people that start that way see more success than the people that come in with just this extra stress. And I'm going to explain to you why they fail. So I got my notes. Give me 1 second here. All right, so first thing, let's start off with personal investment. Why personal investment is the better way to start is because when you start with your own money, you got skin in the game. You're starting with your own money. You're going to take things a lot more seriously. All right. I started with a pickup truck. All right. My gratification was delayed. I wasn't thinking about what it eventually blossomed into. Right. I was thinking about what was in front of me right then and there. All right. Um, it forces you to make smarter decisions, right? A lot of people, they get this business credit, or let's say they get a business loan. You get this money, you don't know how to allocate that money. You ain't never had this type of money. You never even ran a business before. So when I say start with what you have, you got people that want to come into the box truck business. And when I tell them, all right, well, what you got? What kind of car you got? Oh, well, I got a Tahoe. All right, well, go sign up with this company, that company, this company, that company, and go run small parcel packages. Man, why I got to do that for? Man, because that's going to give you a foot in the door. You're gonna go work for a logistics company. You're gonna get accustomed to being there every morning. You're gonna learn how to load your vehicle. You're gonna learn the operations of the facility. You know, different facilities. If you're working out of different facilities, you're going to learn your market, right? You're gonna understand what traffic looks like. You're gonna understand when you're making these deliveries, the obstacles that you're going to be faced with. But you're going to be learning this with equipment or with an asset which wasn't an asset before you turned it into an asset with what you already have. So now you don't have this overwhelming bill, which is the loan, hovering over you, which is forcing you to go out and make stupid decisions. You're utilizing what you have. And while you're utilizing what you have, you're learning the industry for way less than you would if you went out here and you bought you an $80,000 box truck like you did in the pandemic. So you take your car, your paid off car, your Tahoe or your Honda Sonata or your Kia Sorento or whatever it is that you have, and you go work for these logistics companies. You start becoming a medical carrier, doing medical delivery. You start doing small parcel package delivery for companies like T-Force, delivering e-commerce goods. If the car is paid off, you don't have that overhead. You're paying personal insurance because it doesn't require commercial. You're doing gig work, same thing, doesn't require commercial. If you're paying a note, okay, fine. If the car is paid for, even better. You don't have the strain that you'd have once you go out there and you make that huge investment. And you're learning the business with minimal cost. But when I tell people to do this, it's just like, oh, it's like I'm talking down on them. Why? Because you want that instant gratification, because Buddy and them, they making it seem like they running it up. You think when you come in with this box truck, with this loan or this business line of credit or whatever little scheme or scam that you think you're going to come up with this bread to get in, once you get in, shit just going to be instant for you. It's not. I told you this shit when I first started doing content 2 years ago. And y'all, I know y'all hate when I rub it in your face, but I told you. You didn't listen to me. You didn't listen to Mark. Remember, you was mad. You was laughing and shit. Oh, nobody want to do this, that, and the third. Yeah, man, we running over the road. No touch freight. Amazon Relay. No touch freight. Dock to dock. OTR. I said, all right. Wait till that bubble burst. Wait till that bubble burst. I told you, sign up for the apps. I said, these apps, I'm telling you, they coming. It's going to be a lot of opportunity. But if you don't sign up now, you ain't going to be able to get in because it's going to be a waiting list. I told you this. It's in the content. Proof is in the pudding. Go back 2 years ago and look at the live or the videos I was doing. And I said it. Listen, even if you don't utilize it, just sign up for this stuff now. Because you're going to need it. I said that. I said, this bubble finna purse, you're going to need all the resources you can get to find opportunity. It's in the live stream. Go watch 2 years. That's a good thing about YouTube. It's there. I don't have no reason to put it on private or delete. I want you to go look at it to prove to you that I told you this shit 2 years ago. It makes me look better. It's there. Go look at it. Now you scrambling, man, Mark, I signed up for freight. They said it's a waiting list. I can't get on, man. I don't know. Man, Curie, they ain't letting me on. And Dispatch said they ain't hiring no box trucks in my market. I told you this shit 2 years ago. But you was in that euphoric phase of running whatever it is you was running, which was either OTR or Amazon, and you thought it was going to last forever, and you closed the door in my face. You closed the door in the OG face. The OG for a reason. But it's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. All right, so lower risk. When you start with what you have lower risk. You don't, a lot of the things that a lot of people are worrying about for the past year and a half, 2 years, you don't have to worry about that when you start with what you have, when you start from humble beginnings. Listen, what you got to understand, and I say it all the time, is the learning curve. There's no way any business you start, you're going to meet the learning curve. You're going to meet it at the beginning. And depending on what business you start, how much research you've done, how quick you comprehend, how long your money is, because a lot of y'all like coming into businesses with no capital or just enough capital, and you know how I feel about that. And I know some of your favorite content creators told you can come in with this little money, and now you ain't got no working capital, so that means you can't fight the learning curve. You don't have any money to fight the learning curve. But any business you start, you're going to have to meet the learning curve. And the learning curve ain't free. Every mistake you make is going to cost you. And you're going to make a lot of mistakes at the beginning because this is something you never did before. But you in it now. And it's going to cost you. You don't have those risks when you start with what you have. When you go to a logistics company, let's say, and you go in with your car and you sign up with your Honda Accord, your risks are minimal. And you're learning the business at a minimal risk. It's not costing you that much. You get out here with a 26-foot box truck. Listen, that commercial insurance is due every 30 days. That truck note is due every 30 days. That box truck rental every 7 days. They want it. They need that. Let me get that. That's what they telling you when they hit you. Let me get that. Run that. Let me hold that. They don't care about your risk. They don't care about the learning curve. That's on you, big dog. You a big dog. You came into a big dog industry. We need our money. We don't care about you. You forgot to strap the load down and then flipped over and you didn't get paid. We don't care nothing about the influencer that told you can come in with $3,000-$4,000 and you came in and you just had enough, and because you waiting to get factored, you waiting because you ain't got no fuel, so you couldn't run enough loads that week because you spent time just sitting somewhere because you didn't have no fuel. And now that this 7 days done came around quick than a mug, didn't it? That now you ain't got enough money to pay us. We don't care nothing about that. Who told you to come in with just $3,000 or $4,000? Why would you do that? They don't care about that. Here's the problem with starting with debt. You got pressure to succeed at a rapid pace. You under pressure. You know why? Because see, what you fail to realize is when you go get this personal loan, because that's the only way you're going to get it. Like, listen to me. I'm going to keep it, and let's drop the link. Let me drop linkage because you know these guys, they love watching Mark. But see, they're not going to come up because I'm going to dispel all the bullshit that they tell y'all, and then it's going to damage their credibility, and they ain't going to be able to sell you shit no more. But that go linkage right there. There go linkage. We love dropping a link. See, we with that shit. I'm with that shit. On here and in real life, I'm with that shit. I'm with the shits. So go ahead and hit the linkage. You dig what I'm saying? And we can get it cracking. I'll, pull you on up if you disagree. You feel what I'm saying? But let me tell you something. You go out, you get a personal loan, right? Because that's the only way you're gonna get. No bank is gonna give a business that's a new business a loan. So that's the first myth for some of you new guys that be coming up here thinking you're gonna go get this business loan. No bank is gonna give you a loan. Why would they give you a loan? Who are you? What collateral you got? What history do you have? Why should we trust you with this money? So the only way you're going to get some type of loan, if somebody don't personally give you a loan, then you're going to have to get a personal loan based on your credit. Then you're going to loan that money to the business, right? So let's say you get a loan for 40 or 50. You go out, you rent a truck, or let's say you buy a truck, whatever. You get started, whatever. You structure your business, whatever. You get your insurance down payment, whatever, all right? Let's say 20. That's more realistic. Now that 20 gone. It's damn near gone. But what you don't realize is that money that you borrowed, because see, here's the thing that they make it seem like, and then you don't think about this aspect. You got to pay that money back. And you got to pay the money back, but that money is another bill. So when you take that money and then you go rent this truck that you're paying on every week, that's a bill. And the loan is a bill. You just created another bill. Which affects your bottom line, which gets included into your CPM that you ain't did anyway. You don't know your cost per mile because you ain't did it. Like Buddy came up the other day. He didn't even know what it was until he found my channel. You don't know your operational costs, but you just created another bill. That loan is another bill. You loaned that money to the business. You got to pay that loan back. You just created another bill. But then you're running around online talking about cheap freight. And then there's a guy who went out there and DoorDash for a fucking year. He saved up his money. He went and bought him a truck cash. And he's outbidding you because he doesn't have the overhead that you have, because he started from humble beginnings. He started from the ground. He worked DoorDash. He worked 3PLs in his car. He did medical deliveries for Spoke and T-Force Med and all these companies in his car. He did Grubhub in his car. He did goddamn Uber in his car. He did Carry in his car. He did GoShare in his car. You look at his app, all his iPhone and his Android, all you see is different apps to make money. He got an app that's going to let him know where's the best opportunity on all the apps. Then he got another app that says, here, we're going to turn on the apps. And then once you accept something on the one app, then we're going to put all the other apps on pause. He is an app machine. So he's doing all the work that he's eventually going to do when he gets his truck. So when he gets his truck, because he's been delaying his gratification and he's been doing the work that he ultimately wants to do in a bigger vehicle, he's learning it, he's making the money, he's putting it to the side, he cashes out. This is the guy that you're saying is taking cheap freight. Because you went out and you added another bill. You took out a loan. So you under the pressure because now you got to pay that loan back. That's another bill that you just added. That person ain't got that. He delayed his gratification for a year and a half. He did the shit that you didn't want to do. The shit that I told you needed to do. The shit 2 years ago that I said, man, go do this. You didn't want to do because you don't want to work. You think you better than what you is. Who is you? And then you want to come and complain about this person because he put his head down. When you was on it, like Buddy ass that was on the truckers panel that was running the road that really ain't got it like that and admitted to it and was sleeping in hotels and then ordering DoorDash to the hotel. Buddy ass that you saying taking cheap freight, he the one who delivered them to DoorDash. The person that came in a year later that's beating him up was the person a year ago that delivered him his Chipotle. Mm-hmm. Sure did. Because you under pressure to succeed. Because you got all these bills. Yeah, you got to pay that loan. You know, you went and took it out on what's the one company that you go to for the what is it, Spring Leaf or some shit like that? You under immense pressure to succeed when you could have literally just started from ground zero with what you had, learned the business, worked your way up. Interest and fees. People borrow this money. They talk about this money. We'll get 20,000, but then they forget about the fees and the interest. It's just like people that hit me up and email me and say, man, I got this box truck a year ago. It was 58, but I just logged into the portal. I don't never log into the portal because they just take the money from me instantly every month. So I never really log in the portal. They just take the 1,600 every month. But some told me to log into the portal today. The truck was 58, Mark. Tell me why I just decided to log into the portal today and they say I still owe 73,000 on the truck. Well, man, what was the interest? I don't know. Who financed it? So-and-so equipment funding and leasing. You went out, you got an equipment leasing loan on top of the loan that you already got to borrow the money. And you wondering why, and you complaining about cheap freight. Because Buddy and them told you this is the best way to do it. Rent a truck. No, don't worry about it. Go buy you a 70,000. Don't go get no used truck. Don't go get no old truck because the truck gonna break down. Rent a truck because you don't gotta pay the maintenance. All this shit that these people tell you that you believe. And it sounds good until you get out here and then you can't, the life of you can't understand why can't I make money? Because what they didn't tell you is what I've been telling you for the longest, that the margins in this industry are small. That the competition is fierce. And then if you come in with all this extravagant stuff, all this overhead, it's going to be harder for you to compete. And you'll never be able to bring your cost per mile down because your bills are so high. It's so exorbitant. All right. Limited options. Especially for you OTR guys. Hit the like button. Hit the like button now. Hit the like button. Because I don't like the likes. I don't like where they at. I don't like where they at right now. Hit the like button. Limited options. And what I mean by limited options, especially for some of the OTR guys, maybe not so much for the final mile and the curbside guys, but more for the middle mile guys, your options are limited. It's just like we seen people recently be like, oh, well, I can't take this. I can't take that. I don't want to take this. They're taking cheap freight. People that are necessarily taking freight that they think is cheap, not everybody's taking it at a loss. The people who are taking it at a profit are taking it and they're running at a profit. Your options are limited because your cost is high because of everything that I just spoke about prior to this. This is why you got people coming up talking about they've been sitting at a truck stop for 2 and 3 days because they can't find nothing that's worth their while because their operational cost is so high. Because they came in an inflated market during the bubble, not understanding what they were investing in, thinking that just what it was. And now that the market has corrected itself, and this is a normal market, I don't care what nobody tells you. The market rates are normal. But since they came in an inflated market, They bought an inflated price truck. They got high insurance. They have a high overhead because they don't know what the heck they doing. That when the market started to correct itself, what they once thought was normal or they just didn't know at all, they can't operate in this current economy. And this is a normal trucking market. To me, it's normal. But their options are limited. You got people out here paying $3,500 a month for a box truck. I ain't making these numbers up. You just came up on the channel and told you that. $3,900, $33,000 a month for insurance. So, of course, your options are going to be limited in comparison to a person who has a lower cost than you because they started from humble beginnings. They started from the ground up. They started with what they had and then they worked their way up. They didn't come in up here like so many people did and so many people are continuing to do, like the young man in the video that I put out earlier this morning. He wants to come in with 3 trucks. Don't know shit about shit. Don't want to drive a truck. Don't know the rates. Don't know about fuel. Don't know nothing. He wants to come in with 3 trucks and no money. He wants to save up with just enough money like so many people do so that he can get in and don't worry about no working capital and say, well, when I get that first check, then I'll be straight. No, you won't, fool. You robbing Peter to pay Paul if you get to the first check. So many people get influenced by this shit that they see, and it's not reality. Until Big Mark come and start telling them real scenarios. I know what it's like to get a truck roof. I know what it's like for a guy to back into a dock with a low clearance and tear the whole awning down. I know what that shit is like. I know what it's like to be sued. I had a truck hit a goddamn active Army vet in uniform in his car. And when the state trooper came out to do the report, you already know who he favored. It's different when you hearing it from an influencer versus hearing it from a person who creates content who's been in this industry going on damn near 2 decades. Because I got 15 years worth of stories to tell. Some of these guys that y'all be listening to, man, they was in grammar school when I got started. And that's why when I drop the link and tell them to come up here, they don't, because they sitting here learning too. Half of them steal my shit. Let's talk about them. While we there, let's talk about them. You know why people and influencers, and you got, let's not talk about the box truck. Let's talk about the credit influencers, the business credit influencers. The reason why they promote that shit is because it sounds impressive. It sounds like it's easy, and it's like it's like it, you know, that get rich quick shit. Like the buddy who came up here earlier in this year, who, man, so this is what you do, Mark. You take some money, right? This is what you do. Just listen, Mark. Just listen. You take some money, and then what you do is you go to the ATM and you deposit, right? Then you go to Cash App and you send it from Cash App to your bank account, right? And then what you do is you withdraw it from an ATM, and then you take it to Walmart. And then when you get to Walmart, you put it on a money order. All right. Then once you put it on the money order at Walmart, you let it sit there for 15 days. All right. Then after 15 days, you pull it out, and then you take it to another bank and you deposit, and then you go apply for business credit. And then they're going to see that this, did that, and then you play hot potato with this, and then they're gonna give you $50,000, and then it's free money. I don't know if I explained that right, but y'all have seen some of these young guys come up here and say this shit. I still don't get it. I don't understand it. So maybe I explained it wrong, but it's something to what I just said. So then they think they got free money and it's some type of get rich quick shit or whatever the case may be. But let me explain something to y'all guys. And we was having a conversation last night in the Discord about disparity and things of that nature. When y'all hear this shit about business credit and you hear certain people talk about leveraging business credit the correct way, they don't look like this. They don't look like this. See how dark this skin is? They don't look like that. But the difference from those people and this people, when they do it the correct way. If you are fortunate enough to finagle one of these schemes to come up with some type of cash or credit or whatever it is that these people out here doing now, you know what they end up doing? Like, talk to me nice. You're going to go buy a California King with that shit. You ain't going to utilize it for what you're supposed to utilize it for. And like I said earlier, in most cases, you're not going to qualify for business credit because you have a brand new business. Anybody that's in business knows that a bank is not even going to sit down and talk to you, even give you a conversation unless your business has been in business 2 to 3 years. Why? Because most businesses fail within the first year. Why would we take a risk on something that statistically, more than likely, you're going to fail? Why would we take that risk? It sounds good. That's why all these young guys fall for that shit. And guess what? After they do all that shit, they still ain't got shit because it doesn't work. It doesn't exist. What was that shit during the pandemic everybody was talking about? What was it? Navy Federal? All you heard during the pandemic was Navy Federal. And what was the other one they was talking about? Blue something. What was that shit called? It was Navy Federal and Blue something. Fuck. What was that blue stuff they was talking about? What was the blue? It was Navy Federal during the pandemic and Blue something. Blue something. It was something blue. But all you heard doing Blue Vine. There you go, Pippi. Blue Vine. That's all you heard during the pandemic. Navy Federal, Blue Vine. Navy Federal, Blue Vine. You don't hear that shit no more. You don't hear that shit no more. Because it didn't work, probably. It didn't work. Y'all fall for the illusions. Why you think when these influencers are trying to get you to buy into things, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with a mentorship or a coaching, right? That's not what I'm saying, right? Because sometimes some of the people that are doing this, obviously they're doing it for profit, but they may offer you value, right? And sometimes the people may buy these things and just not do the actual work. So this is not what I'm saying. Here is what you should look out for. The allure, right? The reason why they rent Airbnbs, they go on tour and rent fancy cars and things like that when they're pitching you to buy into whatever it is they're selling, these business credit courses and things of that nature, is to will you in with the trinkets, the allure of the whole get rich quick, the whole instant gratification. And with the young generation, and because of social media and because of all the fabrication you see there, That whole generation, they want that get rich quick because they got to stunt. Everything is about social media. Like you only got a few days. Oh my God. Oh, Hillary, you haven't posted in 6 days. What's going on? You got to post. So now you can't post in the same outfit. So now you got to make a trip to Neiman's. You got to make a trip to Saks. You got to get Dior. You got to get Louis. You got to get what was the belt? Ferragamo belt during the pandemic, and your Alexander McQueen's. So you got to find ways that you can make money for instant gratification. That's why they show you this shit. Because you think, oh, once I get this box truck, I get this loan or whatever it is they trying to get you to buy into. You get this box truck and it's going to be instant gratification. Like Buddy this morning, talking about I'm going to get 3 trucks and I ain't going to never have to work. I ain't got to work. I'm going to get 3 trucks and then I'm going to make all this money. My drivers, I'm going to put them on a W-9 and He's thinking that his problems are solved. He's working a job right now with 2 kids and a wife making $40,000 because he listened to one of these guys. You see how naive Buddy was in the video this morning? It's easy to sell a person who ain't got much on some dumb shit that don't make sense. All right. Flexibility and control. When you start with what you have control of your own destiny. When I started with my pickup truck, I was in control. I didn't have the overhead that a lot of y'all have when y'all start with these expensive trucks and cargo vans and stuff. I went out, I worked very, very hard every single day. And I was averaging about $500-$600 a day in a vehicle that I owned that had been paid for a couple years at that point. Just from working from humble beginnings. I wasn't under the pressure to meet certain financial goals because I had pressure from all these bills that I've accrued from listening to influencers or coming in without delaying my gratification, coming in without understanding what I invested in. Listen, when I bought my first truck, now I know a lot of y'all heard this before, but y'all see the channel is continues growing, so I got new people. That's why yesterday the guy was challenging me on my numbers. I'm like, dude, you must don't know who I am. Go back and look at the old content. By the time I bought my first, I went and cashed out. That's why I challenge people when they say don't go get an old truck. Man, forget all of that. Man, listen, go find you something that's affordable, that's running. Yeah, everybody may not accept it, but guess what? Those people that don't, they not the only people in town. All right? You want to make money, you need to keep costs down. So whatever you need to do to keep costs down, then that's what you got to do. So I understand that starting from nothing, humble beginnings, and this is the way you start with nothing. Not like Buddy this morning who don't got nothing, who's trying to start at the top with zero. When you have zero, you start with what you got. So a Buddy working a job, then when Buddy get off his job, Buddy need to go do some of these gig 3PL jobs in the late afternoon, early evening. And then take that money and put that to the side so that in a year and a half or 2 years or however long it takes, depending on how hard he works and how aggressive he saves and how much he's willing to delay, he can go cash out on a truck. This is going to help alleviate a lot of the pressure that a lot of people who are ignorant who come into this space up here, he's not going to have to deal with that shit. You in control of your own destiny. I've been in control of my own destiny since that first call when I picked up that first mattress. This is why I can sit here in the morning, in the afternoon. I be on the Discord in and out throughout the day, kicking it. Because I've been in control of my own destiny since day one. I don't follow trends. I do my research. I understand what I'm investing in. I don't make dumb decisions. When people are greedy, I'm fearful. When people are fearful, I'm greedy. I continue to educate myself. I follow my first mind. Even when I'm, man, I don't know. But because I educate myself and I understand things that I'm invested in, usually when I follow my first mind, I make the correct decision. I don't have to listen to strangers. I don't have you come in with all this pressure from these loans that you take out, these high payments because you went and bought you a truck and you use an equipment lease in place because you didn't equipment finance in place because you didn't know no better. You getting robbed there. You got to pay the loan. That's another bill. You got high insurance because your ass sat down and did it yourself on the Progressive website. You didn't have no broker. And all the other mistakes that you made or continuing to make. You rented a truck, man, them people control you. Penske want their money in 7 days. Enterprise want their money. Budget Rider want their money. You working for, come on, bro. How you start is how you finish. Another advantage of starting with what you have, you're learning as you grow. See, a lot of people get in with so much overhead, the pressure, the pressure handicaps their ability to learn. Because you under so much pressure, you have so much worry, and this is why you see the complaining. All that overwhelms you learning because you worried about paying the rental truck in 7 days. You worried about paying the high ass truck note. You worry about paying the high ass insurance. All that worrying is overwhelming your mind from actually learning. When you start with what you have and you work your way up, you're learning and you're growing at the same time. So when I started with my pickup truck and I was doing those odds and end jobs off Craigslist, I was learning and getting paid to learn without the accountability that you would have if you come in up here. I didn't have to worry about people holding me accountable for some dings and scratches and scrapes because the type of people that was hiring a guy in this pickup truck, they was looking for a quick, efficient move. They knew I was in a pickup truck. So guess what? Trust me, if they had good quality furniture, they wouldn't be calling the guy that's on the ad say, guy with a pickup truck. Those are people that didn't mind putting their shit on a pickup truck because they shit was scratched and beat up anyway. They just needed it moved from point A to point B for the cheapest. So bump it, scratch it. We don't care. Just get it here. This all I got. Just get it here in this short period of time because this all I got to give you. So it allowed me to learn without the accountability and the cost that a person who came in with a 26-foot box truck license and all this shit that comes along with it would have to pay for. That's why I say the learning curve costs. The learning curve didn't cost for me. I actually got paid to learn because I started at the bottom. And as I learned, I grew. Okay, been in this truck a year. Man, packing is like, I'm a great packer now. When you got to pack, listen, within a year, I had people calling me in a 1-bedroom. At the end of the month, when they were calling people and all the guys with the 16-foot trucks are booked and person is desperate, man, I saw your ad. Well, let me just say this. I know you said in your ad you got a pickup truck. I got a 1-bedroom. I swear to God, on everything I love, I got these type of calls. I waited to the last minute. Everybody is booked. I need to move from here to there. Do you have availability tomorrow or today? I know everything is not going to fit in the pickup truck. Just get my mattress, my dresser, my clothes, and whatever don't fix, man, just set it in the alley. I swear to God, I got those types of calls. And me just being a good person, I would still try to fit everything in. So I became a master packer. But it's time consuming trying to pack a pickup truck with a 1 bedroom or a studio apartment. You got to be a good Tetris player. You got to be masterful, right? So once I said, you know what, one day I just had a light bulb. Man, I wonder how much it costs to rent a truck. And when I looked at the price, I'm like, that's it. A 16-footer, I think it was $225 a week back then. $225 a week and 10 cents a mile. Bro, that's nothing. I went and rented a 16-footer. Now I've increased the amount of jobs that I can do. I've lowered the time that it takes to do them because now I don't have to play Tetris so good. I'm still playing Tetris, but I don't have to be a whiz at it. It's not time consuming because I have more space, more capacity. So now a job that would take me 3.5 hours in a pickup truck is taking me 1.5, 2 hours in a 16-foot box truck. I can charge more and I can do more jobs. I wouldn't have thought of that if I wouldn't have been learning for that whole year. And then when I got that 16-foot truck, I had the skill set to be able to load that truck and pack it efficiently because I learned those skills packing something smaller. And I got paid to learn it. And the little damages that I did, I didn't have to pay for them. And the business is growing. So now I went from 1 Penske truck to 2 Penske trucks to 3 Penske trucks to, well, you know what? I'm running like a real business. I got a bunch of trucks parked outside my OG crib. Let's go turn this into a real business. Let's go do the licensing process. Then I go buy a truck. I don't go buy a truck like this loan shit and all these schemes and scams, bro. I ain't money. I went to the place and gave them a check. Why? Because that pickup truck and that first job I did for $75, I swear I wish I knew who that, man, I wish I knew. That first job I ever did back in July of 2010, I swear, I wish I could find that person. I wish I knew his name. I wasn't doing any bookkeeping. That was the first job. That one job turned into what y'all saw in that montage live stream. That first job, that $75, it allowed me to put a little gas in the tank to keep going, pay my buddy that was out with me that day. The next job, a little more in the tank, pay my buddy, and I kept compounding on top of that. I never went back in my pocket. I didn't have anything in my pocket the first job. Luckily, I had enough gas to get on the other side of town to pick up the damn mattress. So that first $75 job turned into something beautiful. And each step that I took, the business was paying for it. I never reached back in my pocket. As I learned, I grew. So by the time I became licensed and bought my first truck, where I was at, when I got to that point, majority of people coming into this business now don't have the knowledge or the capital. And this is why so many people fail. And this is why I didn't. Because when I jumped from under the table to purchasing a truck, to being licensed, to paying all that high-ass insurance for household goods moving, this is before I got the trucking company, because Dynamics hadn't called me yet. I had money, plenty of money. I had the knowledge. I had a couple crews of guys because I was running 3 Penske trucks prior to that. Well, up until that point, I had already built a successful business. It was just a matter of being unlicensed to licensed. So once I got that article of incorporation, that EIN, and when the Illinois Commerce Commission sent me that license, was game on then. I didn't have to learn. The learning curve didn't cost me, because when the cost came from being commercial insurance, paying the regulation fees with the Commerce Commission and all that shit, I had already been through the learning curve the previous 3 years. So now we already profitable already. I went and bought my second truck 2 months after I bought my first truck. Cash. Went and bought that third truck 2 months after that. Cash. Later on that year, I started buying 2 trucks at a time. Cash. No, I wasn't buying new trucks. And I wasn't going in my pocket. I wasn't paying for them trucks. The business was paying for them. So when y'all like, damn, Mark, them trucks, man, you know, you retired 2 years ago, since you've been doing your YouTube, and every now and again you go up to the yard, but you paying money to park them trucks. Yeah. You've been paying money to park them trucks for 2 years. Yeah. So? Because a lot of the shit that people have to worry about listening to these guys, I never had to worry about. I want my margin to be as big as possible. The business is going to pay for itself. That's the point. Like Buddy this morning, 3 trucks. He don't want to work. You know why he want to come in with 3 trucks? You know why he want to come in with 3 trucks? Because he want 3 times the money off jump, which proves the point. Instant gratification. Why don't you just start with 1? 1 ain't enough. You know why? Because it's not going to be enough to cover the costs, pay the bills, and provide that lifestyle. 1 truck ain't enough. I got to come in with 3. See, I already did the numbers. That's 21,000. Because he already planning in his head how he going to spend it. Which the numbers are fabricated. He don't know what the hell he talking about. But look how much I had to argue him down. Why you just don't want to start with 1? You don't even know how to run 1 truck. Why you want to start 3? It proves the point. So when I'm arguing with these young guys, trying to get them in the mindset of coming in with 1 when they thinking they want to come in 3 because they figure like, man, 3 times I'm gonna ball out. How you think it is trying to get them to come down even further than that? We just start with 1, down further than that, just to start with what they got, man. Just use these gig apps and use your car. Put that money to the side, stay on your job, put that extra money to the side that you working with these gig apps with these 3PLs, stack that so that you can come into business cash. And this, like I said in the video, this is why you're going to fail. And this is why so many people continue to fail. You know why? Because the way I started, under the table, utilizing what I had, going out there, I'm moving somebody out with my pickup truck in, let's say, a courtyard building, let's say a building with, let's say, 4 units in it, but it's somebody else that may be moving out in the same building at the same time, and they got a moving truck, a moving company. So I'm moving someone out trying to play Tetris in my pickup truck, and the people across the hall moving out too, and they got a moving company. And just imagine the laughs and the snickers that I used to get from the moving guys in the moving truck, and they see me trying to figure out how I'm finna put this last piece on the back of my pickup truck, and I ain't got no space. And then I gotta unpack a third of the truck or a fourth of the truck and rearrange some shit to make sure everything fit. and they just carrying shit right up the ramp. Imagine how I felt. I didn't let that deter me. You know why? Because I was doing what a lot of people ain't doing today, was building a foundation. So when I finally did have those 3 Penske truck and like 12 guys at that time, and I said, all right, now let's go get licensed, I had a leg to stand on. I had a foundation already. I had built the foundation 2010, 2011, 2012, going into 2013. I had built the foundation. I learned the business. I built a couple crews. I built my capital up. So now that I got to come in and pay this high ass insurance for household goods, I'm in a state that's regulated. So now I don't just got to do the DOT and the MC thing. I got to get a state license through the Illinois Commerce. I got to go sit in front of a judge. I got to pay state. I got the money to fight the battle. I got the money to withstand the battle, but the battle really ain't a battle because everything that I was going to have to fight, I already fought it. I already got a clientele base. I already got people that I've been moving since 2010 that's been growing with me. Oh man, Mark, you ain't in the pickup truck no more. You renting a truck? Okay. Oh wow, Mark, you got your some box trucks now. Oh man, Mark. Yeah. Thanks for the move. The guys were great. I was expecting to see you. Yeah, they said you got an office now. Hit the like button. You want to come in on the top, no knowledge, no foundation. You haven't built a foundation. You don't have the money to, let me say this too, because this is an issue. It's a repeated issue. It's just like the video of the guy this morning. So many of y'all want to come in with just enough money, 3 and 4, 5,000, because that's what they telling you. Listen, it's not enough money. It's not enough money. Your capital is part of your foundation. How many real case studies have we seen on this channel from James? There's a guy in the Discord right now, and I ain't gonna say his name, and I know he probably watch him. The people in the Discord watch because, like, I don't know, like, I've been mentoring this guy for free, and I don't mentor nobody, but every day I go in the Discord, he's in there. I rip this guy a new butthole, pause. But he's guilty of everything I'm talking about. He's running right now out of desperation. He's running right now out of desperation. Why? Because he came into something he didn't know. He invested into something that he didn't understand. And he's running out of desperation. Because of that desperation, it's causing him to make ill-advised decisions, which I'm not going to get into. People in Discord know. He's doing things that if I said it right now, you'd probably see laughing emojis. Well, there's already one because he's in the Discord, so he knows who I'm talking about. Because of everything I talked about. Because he's desperate, he's making desperate decisions. No foundation, no working capital, no money, no knowledge. That's why in the Discord, listen to me. Y'all think these accountability sessions I have on the call-in show, imagine an accountability session with the same person 7 days a week for the past month. It's been a guy in the Discord, I've been ripping him for a month every day. And every day he show up. You know why? Because I ain't telling him nothing wrong. But guess what? Even though I'm telling him everything right and he show up for that accountability session every day, you know what ends up weighing more? What favors more? The desperation. So it's sometimes where he know what I'm saying is right, but he goes the other way because desperate cause calls for desperate measures. So even though he knows what I'm saying is right, he's doing the complete opposite because desperation is weighing in. Just like you saw with James. Gave him a whole radius. This mob went from New Jersey to LA for $3,500. One pick, one drop. Forget the radius. Forget everything we told him. He saw 3,500. He was desperate. Fuck what we said. I'm gone. Not realizing he was running that 3,500 at a loss. It was desperation that caused him to make that decision. He didn't have no foundation. He didn't have none of the components of what foundation would look like. But one of the main components of foundation is cash flow, working capital. And he came in the industry with just enough money, I think $7,000. That was gone like that. And there's people out here saying you can come in with 3 renting a truck. How much is going to cost you to learn? How many people don't know they cost per mile? Hit the like button. You ain't got no money. If you ain't got no money, this ain't for you. I'm going to tell you what they not telling you, what they ain't going to tell you. They may not even know this. Listen, if you ain't got no money, don't come over here. Don't come out here. If you don't want to start down here and work your way up, if you ain't got no money to start up here ignorantly, if you got a bag and you just got a bag to play with and you got a bag to go through the learning curve, then all right. If you ain't got a bag, you need to start down here. If you got just enough money to come in because they told you that, I swear for God, on everything I love, and I'm not being facetious, you're going to fail. That learning curve going to eat your ass alive. You can't come into this business robbing Peter to pay Paul off back. Like Buddy said, man, as soon as I get that first check, I should be straight. No, you get that first check, now you got to cover the cost of what it just took you. So you still broke. So it's just a matter of time for an incident to happen. You relying on other people. You ain't out there, fool. You think they going to do everything the right way? No, they going to end up costing you money. Then you done. If you come in with just enough money and then you come in and now you tapped out and you hope you running to get the first payment and then you broke again and then running, they don't have no foundation, you're going to fail. You need cash flow to sustain in any business. Even at the beginning, hit the like button. You ain't got no money, this ain't for you. Start where you can at the bottom. Why you think it was so easy for me to grow my fleet? Because of the opportunities that were presented to me. Dude and them over there in the 3PLs, truck breakdown, they taking all weeks and weeks to get them fixed. Why? Because it didn't break down and they had it towed to the shop. It broke down and it sat for a week or two because they had to rob, scrape, borrow to get the money to be able to take it to the shop to get it fixed. So now while one of my trucks is covering their route for the first 2 weeks because they ain't got the money to get it fixed, the next 2 weeks that it's in the shop, we still running. By that time, I took your food, man. We were running this shit for a month. This my shit now. I'm gonna give you a week to get your shit together. If you can't get your truck fixed in a week, week and a half, 2 weeks at the most, man, I got your shit. I'm taking your shit. I got trucks sitting just on standby. Peak season, summertime, I would go rent an extra 4-5 trucks and just park them. Because I know eventually in the summertime, one of my trucks in my fleet gonna break down. But we ain't finna stop. Yeah, I'm gonna pay this money. I'm gonna pay this money. It don't matter to me. We making money. I know what it costs me to run my business. We can afford to do this. It's right off anyway. Oh man, Mark, you got an extra truck? Sure, I got 4 or 5 extra trucks sitting right here. Yeah, we may need you to run an extra route for us. One of our other independent contractors' truck broke down. No problem. Hey, hey Tim, go ahead and hop in one of them enterprise trucks tomorrow. I'm gonna need you to run this. Going out there and talk to Jill. She's gonna get you squared away. You're gonna be running this for the foreseeable future for a couple weeks, but I'm gonna see if I can get this and make this permanent. A week and a half, 2 weeks later, man, this you. Just keep doing this until otherwise. You know why? Because that person that came in hit an unforeseen situation, didn't have any working capital, didn't have any cash flow, truck breakdown. Now it's 2 weeks to conjure up the money to even get the truck fixed. Man, the 3PL ain't finna hold that contract for you. What makes you think they're gonna hold it for you? I'm out.